Hello, NBC! My name is Holly McAfee.
And I'm Jen McAfee. And we're two single, sexy sisters from Salt Lake City. Try saying that 10 times fast.
And we're two sexy sisters from Salt Lake City.
Throughout our lives, we've certainly had our share of sisterly squabbles. This girl has some serious attitude.
And this is one sassy sister. But there is one thing that we both agree on. We're your next biggest losers. So we're taking a tour of my kitchen. Want to check out what's in the fridge. I've been gone for 2 weeks, so this will be interesting. It might kind of, well. See, look at that.
She is obsessed with Johnny Depp. She really is.
This doll has a sensor on it and talks. And the sensor's somewhere right in here.
It's where?
Right in here. Oh, but this is my favorite shelf. I make it the least accessible. All the ice cream toppings in all the land are right there.
I've had a nutritionist for a while, so I've been trying to be good. So actually, there's no unhealthy food in my house. It doesn't mean that when I'm bad, I don't go buy some. I can't have unhealthy food in my house, or it's gone in like a minute. I used to actually live down here, kind of in the basement, when we were roomies for a while, but we fight too much, so we've parted ways. But we're still buds.
There's a mutual agreement.
We both have our opinions, and they usually don't mesh well together.
Yeah. Our mom would put us in the same room together for hours until we'd get along, and you'd think after all these years.
And I don't really care if I'm strange. I ain't gonna change. And I'm never gonna care about my bad reputation.
And we do very much the same thing professionally. We've worked at the same organization for years, but yeah, when it comes to living together, we need our space.
A girl can do what she wants to do, and that's what I'm gonna do.
But I present in front of large groups, and as I do that, you know, I'm actually pretty comfortable in my own skin to one degree because I can present and I do, I think, a very polished job. But on the other hand, there are times when, you know, I see that I'm the largest one in the room or something like that, and I'm a representative for a healthcare company, and so that part makes it a little hard.
Even for work, I travel for work. I'm a trainer for a software company. And usually I get on the plane as quickly as possible because I have to ask for a seatbelt extension, you know, because the seatbelt won't go over my bellies. But the guy just happened to be right behind me, so I was like, oh, crap. And before I sat down, he actually said to me, are you going to be able to squish yourself in that seat? You know, at first I was like, what a jerk, I can't believe he said that. But, you know, it really makes you realize you're inconveniencing someone when they're sitting next to a big person. I mean, I can feel it. I can feel animosity when I'm walking down the plane. I feel like everyone's like, oh, please, I hope she doesn't sit by me. I hope she's not sitting by me. Like, you know, it's the lottery ticket.
My mom and dad both were clinically obese. They both had weight loss surgeries in our early childhood. And my mom was very successful, and we saw that as an example. She trained her body for years. We were really active. I grew up in dance, cheerleading, soccer, and was involved all the way through high school with those activities and had leadership scholarships. I was very outgoing and very comfortable in my skin. My mom died my last year in high school. We stopped talking about her, and it was just the way that we dealt with her loss, and, you know, as a result, developed a lot of poor habits that years later, all these years later, you know, I look at myself in the mirror and I hate it. I remember, you know, looking back at videos when I was growing up, it's awesome. I look at who I am and I was proud of that person, and the things I was able to accomplish. I felt like I could do anything I wanted. I remember being active in high school, and I dated a lot. And I remember that the guys were never attracted to bigger girls. And I always looked at them thinking, I never want to be big because, you know, that rejection. And so, you know, somewhere in my early 20s, I looked back and realized, what have I done? How did I get here? And it felt like a trap to me.
Right now, I feel like I am in this big fat suit that I can't get out of. And like, this isn't me, you know? I look at my body and it's like, this isn't who I am. I love sports. I play soccer. He said, you know what, Holly? He said, my favorite part is watching you, because I play defense and he plays goalie. And he said, I love watching you the times that you do get the ball and they underestimated you and didn't think you would, and you get it from them. And he's like, I love watching their face. It's awesome. And so just those kinds of things motivate me. I mean, every game I play, I think, this is why I want to lose weight, because I want to be able to play better. Because it's hard being this huge and playing soccer. Oh my gosh, running is hard, but I love it. That is me. I love to run. I love to be physical. I love to be doing stuff, and I want to be able to do it better.
I have a very active lifestyle, but my size and my weight holds me back in everything I do. I dance and go hang out with my friends, but it's always, you know, I'm the first one to get fatigued, and that's frustrating, but I really want to change, and it's been a matter of survival. I have great friends and a lot of activities that I get involved in, but I feel like, as far as like, Holly's awesome because she dates and does stuff, but as far as relationships with men go, I hide out. I feel like I'm invisible to men. As far as progressing, I do want to have a family one day and get married and all of that fancy stuff. But in getting there, I feel like how I look is a big brick wall in getting to achieve that.
You know, it's just gotten to a point where enough is enough, and I'm finally ready to do something about it. I'm just the kind of person that you would love to see, because I'm fun, I'm a people person, very energetic, and I'm very athletic despite my physique. I've always been involved in sports and I live at the gym. So I feel like I'm perfect material for The Biggest Loser.
Some of the great mentors for me are people who looked at failure right in the face. My favorite would have to be Beethoven. As an adult, he lost his hearing and became completely deaf. He struggled for some time with depression and thoughts of suicide, and then felt within himself there was a lot more for him to create. And so he's quoted as saying he took fate by the throat and created one of his most masterful and famous pieces, the Fifth Symphony. And that phrase that is repetitive throughout the Fifth Symphony that we all know is da 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 da, which translates in Morse code as the letter V. And it used to be historically that in times of great battle, the victor's trumpets would sound that repetitive phrase over and over again, which would resound in the ears of those that failed. So for him, that piece was his champion victory. He was able to overcome fate. And not only was he revered for his works and his compositions, but he created or transitioned the classical era into the Romantic period, where artists created from within their soul. I look at myself and I think I'm also one of the greats. I have the ability, I've already overcome great struggle in my life. And I look at this as another opportunity. It's just another battle. And it's my time to grab fate by the throat. When I look at myself in the mirror, this is not who I am. This shell of a human certainly doesn't represent my potential. But I know that I have within myself that ability to overcome this weakness. So I can't wait for the opportunity to stand on stage at the end of season 6 finale and be able to do my own little victory dance. And not to mention, be nice to see some of those people who once called me a failure. It's time for them to eat a little crow.